In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you how Franco and I went from $3,000 in debt to a $10,000 weekend win without waiting for perfection. I want to talk about 8 different things in this video, and the first one's going to be where imperfect action is going to be better than perfect planning. And what this simply means is that every test run, no matter how messy it is, will teach you something. Look, we used to tweak offers and little things every single week to zero results. And one day I realized that done beats perfect every single time. You will learn so much quicker by getting something done wrong than trying to perfect it. At the end of the day, that's how you build momentum. And if you don't start the momentum, you'll never gain it. So just accomplish something, even if it's messy, you'll learn. Does not matter. Second thing that I learned pretty quickly is going to be that your time is your most valuable asset. Look, I literally calculated my hourly rate and it's $250 an hour. Suddenly, doing all this back-end manual stuff, doing the fulfillment for clients, all the AI build out, it seemed like I was stealing from myself. Once you get to a point where you're super busy, you will realize that your time is more valuable than what you're building out. So in that case, you need to start outsourcing, and that's exactly what we did. We hired a client fulfillment developer, and that gained us back hours and hours and hours on end of our time. And this isn't something that you're going to understand unless you're really, really busy and really understand how much your time is worth. The third thing that I wanted to check up on kind of correlates to the first one, and that's just making sure everything is right before your launch. But it doesn't mean waiting for perfection. Now, I don't want to confuse you on what a pixel is for Facebook Meta and all that stuff, but let's say we try to run our ads for a week straight and we wasted $500 just because our pixel wasn't set up right. Now, before every launch, we have a 7-step checklist for the most important things that need to be perfect. Without these things, the launch wouldn't work, we wouldn't get the right data, and we would just be burning money. And relating back to messy work is better than perfection, you'll learn so much building this thing out that you'll realize your mistakes and realize what you need to be perfect. At this point, we don't have any surprises because we have that 7-step checklist. The fourth thing I wanted to check in with, the fourth thing that I wanted to talk about was investing in ads is your biggest return on investment. And look, I know it's scary dropping all this money on ads, not knowing that you're going to get guaranteed results. Trust me, we've been there. And there's no secret to this. The bigger of an investment that you put to yourself, the higher return on investment you're going to get. And that's what we did. You can say we got lucky with our first ad being a winning ad, but it's an A/B test. You have to run ads until you get the one that's winning. The fifth thing I want to mention on scaling is if you have a partner, make sure you guys are doing things separately, but know what each one of you are doing. There's been a few cases where me and Franco jumped on the same thing without realizing, and we were just changing what each other was making. Again, this leads to just time wasting, and at this point, your time is valuable. Now you have to figure out what each of you were doing, what changed, and what you need to do to change both of those issues. And at that point, it's just wasting time, wasting energy on something that you could have avoided. A good tip here is to have a whiteboard and just do tasks. Write down your tasks that you want to do for that day. That way it's written and you know what you're going to do, you know what the other person's going to do, and there's no interference. The sixth thing that I want to touch on is please don't give up. There's going to be times where you're double thinking yourself or doubting yourself on whether this is going to work. The second that you let that thought overcome you, you're screwed. At one point, we were $3,000 in red. Franco was like, dude, we need a deal this weekend. And it happened. With that pressure of needing to close a deal, it was laser focused until it was done. At the end of the day, it's all a numbers game. The input that you put is going to be the output that you receive. So the more dials, the more calls you do, the more money you're going to get. The last two things I can put in one. So that's going to be your short-term goals and your long-term goals. A short-term goal would be 3 to 6 months out. And for us, that would be hitting 50K consistently every single month. Our long-term goal would be maybe a year worth of time out. And for us, that long-term goal would be to have this whole system automated. That way we can start another agency and obviously rinse and repeat that. When you have everything that I talked about in this video set, that's what true scaling is. And don't get me wrong, we're still learning, but once you have everything set that I talked about in this video and you have a goal a year out from now, that's what scaling means. Scaling while learning isn't a myth, it's a playbook. If you're actually ready to take that step and learn while you're scaling, hit that subscribe button and make sure to like this video. That way you will see a lot more tips and a lot more recommended videos on how to actually start and scale your AI agency.